A Cree prophecy states, "When all the trees have been cut down, when all the animals have been hunted, when all the waters are polluted, when all the air is unsafe to breathe, only then will you discover you cannot eat money." The Earth's surface contains many forms of snow and ice that are being dramatically altered by climate change. Minor changes in temperature can easily cause this snow and ice to melt. The global ice volume and surface extent are decreasing due to rising temperatures. The resulting melted ice and sea level rise are threatening Alaskan and coastal tribes. One study found that 86% of Alaskan native villages are threatened by erosion, thawing permafrost, and flooding. 31 villages face imminent threats, and at least 12 have relocated or have explored relocation options. For example, the Inupiaq village of Shishmaref has undergone many changes. Over the last several decades, warming temperatures have melted the permafrost underneath the village and resulted in a thinner buildup of ice along the coast. This has led to the village being threatened by storm surges that are no longer dispersed by sea ice. The ground on which the village stands is eroding and flooding. Since 2001, an average of 23 feet of shoreline is being lost per year because of storms. Some villagers have observed erosion as fast as 100 feet per year. A few of Shishmaref's buildings have already been abandoned due to their proximity to the edge of the town's eroding shoreline. There are many causes of sea level rise, including an increase in the mass of water in the ocean due to the melting of land ice, and an increase in the volume of water due to thermal expansion. Melted sea ice does not measurably contribute to sea level rise, but as sea ice melts, heat-trapping carbon dioxide and methane gas are released, contributing to even more warming. According to the U.S. Climate Science Special Report, global mean sea level, or GMSL, has risen by about 7 to 8 inches since 1900, with about 3 of those inches occurring since 1993. Arctic sea ice loss is accelerating. This map and these graphs clearly depict a shrinking area of sea ice over time. Additionally, these photos of Mclean Glacier in Alaska demonstrate the loss of land ice that has occurred between 1958 and 2003. As seas rise, more tidal floods and severe storm surges exacerbate health impacts ranging from flooding injuries and illnesses to trauma. Coastal tribes that must relocate as a result of saltwater inundation face mental health impacts associated with both displacement and loss of community and cultural identity. The Biloxi Chitimacha Choctaw tribe must relocate from the Louisiana coast as sea levels rise. The tribe has lost 98% of its land since the 1950s. Fishing and other ancestral traditions are threatened. Hurricanes have destroyed houses and caused families to leave. In the Nunatsiavut region of Labrador, public health researcher Dr. Ashley Consolo and her team conducted interviews with 5 indigenous communities and found that melted ice, shorter winters, and unpredictable weather made people feel trapped, depressed, stressed, and anxious, and in some cases led to increased risk of substance abuse and suicidal thoughts. In addition, tribes in close proximity to melting ice and thawing permafrost may experience injuries, especially while hunting and fishing. Tribal social, economic, and cultural well-being and traditional ways of life can be disrupted by melting ice and sea level rise. Tribes are experiencing the loss of traditional fishing and hunting practices. Disaster response and recovery costs are increasing. Displacement or change in distribution of tribal cultural sites and culturally important species damages tribal lifeways. Melting ice and sea level rise trigger secondary exposures, including worsened air quality. Other dangerous exposures include an increase in indoor mold infestations and disease-carrying vectors like mosquitoes. There are also specific threats to water and food security. Saltwater intrusion from rising seas into fresh groundwater and well water reduces crop yields and the availability of safe drinking water. Food supply can also be affected by increasingly dangerous or disappearing fishing, hunting, or herding areas, which support critical food and nutrition supply to communities that are heavily dependent on local resources. For several years, rising sea levels have flooded the Quinault Indian Nation's main village on the Washington state coastline. Sockeye salmon in nearby rivers have all but disappeared, a direct hit to the tribe's finances and culture. Fortunately, tribes are finding ways to reduce their vulnerability to melting ice and sea level rise. Flood and saltwater intrusion barriers, like fortified seawalls or aquifer recharge, can help protect tribal assets. Advanced surveillance equipment for locational ice change hazards can help protect hunters. Long-range planning can help identify additional hazard mitigation strategies, such as avoiding development in areas that are projected to experience repeat exposure, or preparing for phased relocation if necessary. For more on the health impacts of climate change and strategies on how to prepare for them, review all the videos in this series and visit the Tribal Climate Health Project website at tribalclimatehealth.org.